Okay, this is going to be, hopefully, a relatively short debugging session, and I say short, not because, I think I've written something good and I'm almost done, but rather because I only want to try debug one test case for my regex, because it's a very interesting test case. So I was playing around with what I have so far, and one change I've made is in the type def struct, I have sort of I've added a Boolean field that says match found, because basically I think one of my issues, because if we think about how recursively I've written this program from the last video, I didn't really have any base case, which I kind of knew, and I thought I should have a base case, but I didn't really know what it was. So what I found is, if sub is empty, and we have this position where there's no subparent, so we're kind of at the end of the line, and at the end of the regex. So sub is empty, no subparent, we're at the end of the regex. We can check if we found a match by making sure the text pointer points past the text length, right? Making sure that text pointer points past the text. And therefore text length, we can make the field match found, that Boolean field, we can set it to true. And wait, I've lost it. Wait, hang on, here we go. And then return that field. So in that sense, what that means is across all my different match functions, if the match found is already true, originally it's set to false, naturally, right? Originally, during initialization, it's set to false. If it does get set to true, then rather than continuing on and trying all this functionality again, it's like a base case. I just return. And that's helped with a few cases. I'm not sure, I didn't really write it down. I should have, it was a bit late, but I think there was a case like, I think I had a pipe, A or B maybe, star, and then like A, B. Ignore this, yeah, this is from the sanitizer. But yeah, I think without this, if I get rid of the field whenever it's mentioned, there was some case where, change this to, get rid of this, just replace it with this. Right. So yeah, if I clang -g, don't forget that. I've been using a sanitizer as well. Matching. Of course. I need to also mention the passing. Nope. Files. Source files. And then if I try again the same case, I think, yeah, So what I found was without this match found field, if I try the exact same case, it gets like stuck. There's no, it basically keeps trying to pass an expression even though the text point is pointing past the string. It gets a bit messy. So yeah, this was just like maybe it's a bit of a hack. I'm not really sure if this is kind of what you would expect to do or if there's a better way, but having this kind of is just a nice way to just get the termination to happen, basically. I need that one there. Let's look through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, good. So if I do the compilation again, just one more time and run this, happy days, right? So anyway, what's the next? So that's the little bit of debugging I've done and the change I've made. And what the next thing that I've noticed is if I have a star inside a bracket with an OR and then another star, I get like a Stack Overflow issue. Whoops, that didn't work. So B for the thing, and then A or B or D star star blows up. At first, the case I used to try this was something like B or D star, and then I had like a bunch more of these or whatever, and it blew up in my face again. And at first I was scared that maybe because of all my recursion, I thought, because it does say Stack Overflow, right? Yeah. Stack Overflow, all of these match expressions, all these calls on the stack. At first I thought, oh my goodness, I've done so much recursion that it's not able to actually pass the string. But then, the fact that it still happens for a single character makes me think it's not about it's about the recursion, and it's about the fact that there's too many stack calls, but I think it's getting stuck somewhere. I think it's sort of redoing the same thing over and over again. And if I get rid of this, it's fine, it works. And in fact, if I have something like this, it still works. So I think for some reason having a star inside here. In fact, I think I tried this. Oh no, that also failed. No. Yeah, so star in a grouped expression, which is also attached with a star, fails. I'm curious about one other thing. What if I have like this and then BD star? Interesting. Is that true? Is there no match? B. Yeah, it is true, because like you'd have to match either B or D star. You can match a B and then B and then yeah. L, you have D star, which doesn't work. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it seems to sort of blow up. So I want to see if I can work through understanding why this fails. What causes this to get stuck? And I do think it's getting stuck. I don't think it's like just the natural recursion is too big for the program to handle, because I think the regex itself is small enough that the tree that gets built and the amount of traversal you should have to do is not that big. Maybe at some point, yeah, if the regex expression is big enough, I'll literally run out of memory space. But I do think that I'm getting stuck again. So my regex is B, D star, and my text, just to clarify, is just B by itself, because that's the sort of the smallest thing that causes the error to occur. Right? So if we just begin by building the tree, take a pen. So we have the expression, we have the sub, we have the OR. Note that the OR here is empty. I forgot the star. Yeah, so then you have sub, which has an expression associated with it because it's grouped, and then it has a sub and an OR. This OR is not empty. This links to another expression which has a sub and an OR, which is empty. Yes, this is correct. Sub has a D star associated with it. The star is actually located with the sub, and this has a B with no star. So this is what the tree looks like. Empty, empty. There's also the sub here naturally, which is empty, and the same thing over here, sub here, which is empty, but that's less important. Okay, so the text in turn equals B. Naturally, there's an L terminator as well, but we care more about the B, with the text pointer pointing directly to that B. Okay, So what do we expect is going to happen? We expect that we call match on this expression. We try matching the left side. It says we have a sub. We try to match the left expression. This guy is the parent sub, right? Oh, there should be a sub empty here. Hang on, I forgot to put the sub empty. So yeah, this guy is the parent. We want to match this expression now. So we either... and there should be a star here, shouldn't there? That's what makes this difficult. There's a star here and here. So the star here, do it in red. There's a star here, and there's a star down here. Okay. So we pass the parent along. We want to match this expression to the text we have at the moment. So we try to match the left side. We see a B. It works, which is great. And so we move the pointer down. And because the parent has a star, we're going to retry. This match, this expression. So we call it once, then we call it again. Sub. We try to match the B. It won't work because we're on the null terminator. We go to the OR, and then we try the D star. I think, well, this won't match at all, will it? But it would sort of, I mean, it's a D star, so you're allowed to match 0 or more times. So I wonder how that would play out. You have D star, so the D wouldn't match at all. So you would have to then... I would think that you would need to link back to here now with the whole right child of the left of the parent sub, but I'm not sure if that's true. Bearing in mind that I think, so my understanding of what could be happening is D star, even though there's no like D to match, right? D star specifically is sort of reporting true because it is successfully matching. This is my sort of, this is what I think might be happening. I think this is reporting back to this guy that I managed to successfully match, because by matching 0 characters, this is technically a successful match for a D star. So then when expression sees, oh, I managed to get a successful match, it tries to match this expression again, because that's the protocol, right? For an expression with a star, I'm going to try to consume as much of the text as I can over and over again. So it's like, it tries the B, it matches it, then for the null terminator, it tries B, doesn't work, goes down to here. D star matches, and therefore reports that, it reports that the match occurred successfully. And because of that, maybe I think what's happening is it never actually gets to the right child of the parent sub. I don't think it ever tries that. It just tries the match, and when it works, it goes back. So I think what needs to happen is after the D star, after the D star tries its thing, I think it needs to do this specifically for starred subs. Like, it has to, once it's sort of matched as many times as it can, it needs to try to match the rest of the string. I don't know. D star, because like imagine if it's like B, D, and D. So the B matches, and then D star matches, D star matches. and then let's say there's like an E or something. Yeah, maybe this works. BDD gets consumed, BDD, and then there's an E. So the D star won't be able to match it. But rather than immediately reporting back to expression saying I managed to match a little bit, what if I just say, let's just keep going? And then, try to consume the E and whatever. And then if it succeeds, if we manage to get a match, then the Boolean field, the match found field will get set to true, and then hopefully things can terminate. If it goes to false, then maybe I should try more matches from here. I should try consume more matches from here. Like, let's say this is a B. So B, D, D, B. And then an E. So like, or maybe just the empty string. So we have the B would match, then the B would fail, so we go to D star. The D star would match once, then twice, and then fail. And then in my mind, at this case, it should go back to here and try to match the B again. But did not need to do that. Oh, I feel like I'm getting a bit of a contradiction here. If BDD D star, okay, I'm pretty confident that's what's happening. D star is returning true back to the expression, which has a star on it. So because of that, it like tries to do another match, even though the match that it's even though D star is matching nothing. What if instead of a true false thing, we check if the text point has moved down? If it's not moved down, that means that you haven't managed to find you haven't actually done anything. That could be an idea. So we have B gets matched, and then D star doesn't move anything down. So when we try to call expression again, hang on. So yeah, let me look at my code real quick. So sub repeated block is empty is not what's happening. The star should not be empty. So single char type, and there is a star. So what happens again? You try to match again, given the match sub expression. So if it matches, it will try again. So within the D star, it will consume as many of the same character as it can. And then text pointer, current text pointer. Reset the text pointer if you never return true, and then try and then match the sub expression of the next sub expression along. Okay. So we'll go down to here. Right. So I think if D star doesn't manage to match anything, it would go down to here. Yeah, so I think what's happening is the D star doesn't match to anything, so this doesn't run at all. And then text pointer equals current text. It resets the text pointer back to, well, it hasn't moved, so it'll just be here. And then it tries to match the sub-expression given the child. So the controller moves down to here. Which is empty, so then it does the whole right child of the parent thing. And so it moves out of the expression star thing and moves on to the rest. This reports true because this is empty and we're out of the string now. So reports back true, which in turn reports back true. So this will return true, I think, from the perspective of D star. And that's why I think expression sort of tries again to match another one of the things in here. Because it sees it true and goes, oh, I managed to match a B or D star. So it must be true. I think what has to happen is we have to check a few. I feel like instead of just saying true, I have to report back like exactly how many times. Okay, hang on. Let me check something. So matches expression. In the case where there's a parent as a star, we try this stuff, we try this stuff. We try to match the sub-expression. Maybe I can do something like if text match found, then just return. Don't keep going, just return. And same kind of thing over here. If you manage to do this, I think this is like a hacky way of making this very particular test case work. Nope, never mind. Oh, I didn't save. Never mind. Okay. Like, what am I trying to do? If I hit these, if I go to D star and it matches a few times, and then we try to match the next guy, and sub empty in turn will go outside of this entire thing and move on to here, continuing with the rest of the text and the rest of the regex. And this returns true. Then I don't want this to repeat. I really thought this would like make it so. Okay, I'll debug it a little bit. I use -G, right? Don't really need the fat sanitizer if I'm gonna use the debug. I don't know. We'll see. let's do all this thing. All right, let's see. So we have the text. Text point is at 0, match found is false. Text string starts with an A. With an A? Oh, I need to change the arguments. Hang on. So this says same thing, right? A C star, B D star with the thing. Okay, let's try that again. All right, go through here. Match found. Would not have happened yet. Text pointer, yeah, text length is 1, text string starts with an A, very good. If there's a subparent, there is not. Left child, current text pointer, we think of the text pointer. We want to try to match the left sub-expression. So we're in this part of the tree, and we're going to the left sub-expression. I'm looking at the wrong tree. We're in this part, we're here, and we're going to go into here. So, bang. If text, that wouldn't have happened yet. If it's empty, it's not empty. If it's a repeated block, it's not. It's the other one. It's this one, right? It's an expression. The child is an expression type. We're going to cast it, and we're going to try and match that particular expression. So we're in here now. We can see that the expression has a sub and an OR, and that OR has got stuff in it. It's that OR. So that's cool. That wouldn't have happened if the parent. Okay, this is yeah. So current text pointer is the original position. Left result is equal to match sub expression. So I think I can safely say this will say true, because it's basically matched the B to the B. So then the text pointer moves down, I believe. If I look at text, you can see the text points move to index 1, which is what we expect. Match wouldn't have been found yet. If left result, yes, we're going to try and match the left result again, or we're going to try and match this expression again. And I think this is where it's a little bit problematic, because let's just see. If match is found, it hasn't happened. We are in this still. Current text pointer is 1. Left result, match the sub expression, should say false, because the A or B isn't going to match with the null terminator. That's fine. Match found won't happen. Left result didn't happen. Right result is where things get interesting. I believe this will say true, and we'll look at what happens. This won't run. This is an empty. Match the expression. So we're in the OR expression now. We're here. So this is going to get very confusing very quickly. Sorry. So we've matched the B, we've moved the terminator down, and then, yeah, we tried the B, didn't work, we're in here now. This wouldn't have happened. This is the case. We're going to try and match the left result, which is the D star. The left of this expression is D star. Here we go. It is a single char with a star in it, so it's this one. So we get the char data. Does it match? Absolutely not. So therefore we reset the text pointer. Of course the text pointer didn't move, but yeah, and then we try to move on. So from here, from this sub, we're down to this sub now. If the sub is empty, it is. If the subparent is there and the subparent repeated block is empty, and so this is the case. Right. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't actually link this like I thought. So yeah, that's why my hack didn't work, because it doesn't actually set the match found field at all. It never touches it. All it does is it says, look, we've reached the end, so it's not like anything bad happened, you know? Maybe I should just return false then. Not true. Maybe that's all it is, because got through a complete match for a bracketed expression that has a star attached. Yeah, that's the flip side. What if this is really tough, because the reason why I made it return true is because imagine you have something like bracket A, B, C or something. Maybe just add bracket A and then C. If you have something like that, what's going to happen is it's going to access the inner expression in here. It's going to access the sub, which points to this A in particular, and let's say the text is AC. It's going to match the A with the A, and then the next sub is going to be an empty sub, right? If you think about the tree. And so that in that context, I've managed to match the entire expression. So this empty sub should give happy news, like, oh, the entire thing in here got matched. And if I manage to reach the empty sub, that means the entire thing got matched, you know? And so in that context, especially with a star, I should try to match this whole thing again, which is why it returns true. But it gets really tough when in this very particular edge, in this case, I've lost it. In this particular edge case, where I've got a star as well, because now it becomes a question of whether returning true does seem like a good idea most of the time, because it's getting to the empty sub is meant to be indicative that you got to the end of something. So I do think that I have to use the text pointer more. You know, if after matching, so instead of this, if text, if this managed to move the text pointer, if right result and we manage to actually move the text pointer, because yeah, after we get through this, if it doesn't return true, it would reset the text pointer back to current text pointer. So we check if it moved again. If we actually did something, if we didn't move anything, which is what will happen in this context, because the D star will return true, as we've seen, but it won't actually move the text pointer. Yeah, I'm hoping that kind of helps it maybe. Oh, I should put the sanitizer, hang on. Matching, nope, A, and then B or D star, and then B. Oh, it kind of worked. Did I break anything major though? Where could it break? I mean, it is very specifically in the context where you have a star on the out group, on the outer group. So what if you have like a bunch of random stuff? Let's say this is B, and this is x. Okay, found it. Okay, I'll take it. I don't know if, again, this code is sort of staying together with hopes and dreams. Like, it's held together by duct tape and dreams. Like, I wonder how crazy we can get. Like, okay, I want to look for words that have an A, B in it, or a C star followed by a G, F, G. Yes. Do I need brackets in this case? I don't, right? Like that, the or is like the weakest precedence, so that will run before that anyway. But let's just be annoying and put brackets around anyway, because, you know, actually, let's not. So in the context where you have C, G, 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 E, and let's put a star actually after at the end of it, and then like A, B, C, C. Oh wait, this is wrong. Hang on, it's C star, not G star. C, C, G, A, B, C. So what's happening? This should match that guy, and then A, B should match, and then C, C, G, E should match. Okay, good job. I do have a lot of random print statements. I forgot. Okay, so now yeah, let's put some brackets in here. G or E. Yeah. That's the best way to use brackets, is when you have an or that you don't want to. You only want it to or G or E. So if you have AB followed by another AB, followed by CCCE, followed by CCG, followed by AB, followed by just the G, because remember C star means no C's works, followed by another AB, followed by an E. Again. Damn it. Fair enough. Let me make sure I actually wrote it correctly, because maybe sometimes I think I've written it correctly and then it doesn't work. Okay, so my understanding, this should have said true, because AB or this thing, right? Weakest precedences. That's so AB followed by another AB followed by a CCCE followed by a CCCE. Yes, followed by a CCG followed by an AB followed by a GA. Wait, what? Followed by a G, sorry. Followed by an AB, followed by just an E. So yeah, this should have returned true. Let me simplify the context. Let me simplify it down. Let me see what the smallest thing I can make that fails. So AB followed by like a C, CG. Okay, there you go. What if I put like more brackets? I'm just trying to think if maybe. No, okay, it's not about that. I thought maybe I was getting confused about what was going where, but yeah. Let me look at the tree first. Oh, it's because of the sanitizer. Hang on, let me. I don't really understand why the sanitizer messes up standard output so much. Look at all those zeros. That means that it's returning false in a lot of places. Okay, so AB or C star G or E. Expression, sub, repeated block, block, expression, sub, repeated block, block, single, B. That looks right to me. Or, that looks right, expression, yep, followed by sub-expression, the C with a star, followed by another sub-expression, which is an expression, which is a G, or an E, or this is empty. 11 refers to the child of this 9, which is the sub-expression referring to this guy. So yeah, no star. 10 has an empty sub-expression because after C star G E there's no more sub-expressions. Or is empty. 4 has a star because 4 is the child of 2, and 2 is the sub-expression of the whole thing. Or is that right? Yes. And then yeah, empty sub-expression, and then this or, which is the child of this expression, is empty because the expression itself has no or. Okay. Very scary stuff. Can I simplify even further? Can I say CGE? Okay. What if I just do CGE? I am interpreting this correctly, right? It shouldn't say true, right? Because like either I do AB or I do CG. Sorry, either I do AB or I do some number of C's followed by either G or E. So the first thing that should match is one C followed by a G, and then I can have as many of those as I want. So then I should have another E. It'd be awkward if I did all this and then, turned out that I just typed it wrong. But I do think that, yeah, in the cases where I've got like nested ORs, it seems like it's not really figuring out what to do very well. Which is a shame, because it looks like the tree is working correctly. Alright, back to the debugger. I need to make sure I compile with -G. I did. Let me change this to make it AB or C star followed by G or E. And that whole thing has a star on the end. And the text I'm doing is CGE. So yeah, one more time just to confirm. If I run my program, oops, if I run my program with that, oh my god. If I run my program with that, followed by that, it says false, but I'm pretty sure it should say true. Okay, one more time. I said I only want to do one test case, but I'm just so curious. Oh, I have no breakpoints, my bad. I'll just start from the top. Cool. Alright, we're in here. CG, text, length of 3, pointer 0, no found. We're in the outermost expression. Where is my tree? I didn't draw the tree. Do I care about drawing the tree? I think I do. Simply because it's easier to follow what's happening if I have the tree beside me. So if I have the overall expression, followed by a sub, an or, which is empty. Sub is linked with an expression because it's bracketed. That expression has an A in it. No. What am I doing? Has an or in it, that's what I meant. Which is another expression, which has another or, another or which is empty. I think the expression has a sub on this side, which is an A, followed by another sub, which is a B, followed by another sub, which is empty. The OR, on the other hand, has a sub, which is the C star, followed by another sub, which is the expression thing. Here we go. Which is the expression, which has a sub, or another expression, which is the sub, and then another OR, which is empty. Now this sub is for the G, and this sub is for the E. This one has the C star, and this entire expression, this entire sub, I mean, has a star associated with it. Crazy true. So one more time, we have the sub, which is AB, or sub, which is C star, followed by G or E. And that entire thing is wrapped in an outermost star. Okay, have the tree on hand. Let's begin. We try to match stuff. In fact, can I try one more thing before I keep going? What if I just try CG? Okay. Interesting. I mean, I'm surprised that CG works and E doesn't. But, alright, let's continue. Sorry. If the subparent, that is not the case, because there is no subparent, figure out the left child. Get the current text pointer, figure out the left child. So we're in here now. Sub, it's not empty. It's not that one, it's not that one, it's that one. So we match the expression. We're in here now. Match is not found. If the subparent, there is a subparent and the star is there, then that's where we are because there is a star. Current text pointer, we save the current text pointer. Match the left result. I believe I can safely say this will say false because, yes, that state is false. So because, you know, the AB is not going to match with the CGE at all. So left result doesn't happen. We try right result. I'm assuming that says true because the CG case passed, but we'll just check real quick what happens. So we are now in, I've already kind of checked this one. This said false. So we go to the OR, and then we're in here. Yes, we're in this place. We go down. This is the case. We need to check the left. Oh, I went too far. Left result stays as false though, which is interesting. That's quite intriguing. The left result said false. The reason I'm surprised is because the CG case passed. Found the match. It was able to match the CG with the CG, but when I add the E, it says no match found. I would have thought that at least for within this particular sub, it would have figured out that that matches, you know, as far as it can. Of course, there. Oh, I should mention. Sorry, this has a sub empty in it. As does this. Intriguing. I might have to start again. I kind of lost my plot. Alright, let me just Okay. Bing, bong, bing, bing, bing. Left child. Yes. Bong, 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 bong. We're in the left child now. So we were here, then we went down to here, then we're in here. Okay. Bing. Yes. Do I want to do this whole thing? I mean, I already checked. I already saw that it went false, right? If text is no, it's not empty. Single char type and it's empty. Yes. If return false. Yes, because again, the A in here does not match the C over here, so it immediately returns false. It knows to return false there. Bing. So left result is false. Cool. This won't run. So then we go to match this one. Boom, boom, boom. So now we're in the OR. Then we're in here. And we're going to go here, here, and we have to check what happens. This is the point of contention. I'm curious as to why the C star G returns false. I thought that for CG should return true. So let's see what happens. No. Sorry, I almost clicked the wrong button. There we go. Match found, return true. That will not happen. Sub is empty, will not happen. Just to clarify again, we are in here at this point for the match sub expression. Is it a single char type and star is empty? No, the star is not empty, which is this one. So we're here. Char star, we're going to get the char data, which is the C star stuff. The current text pointer is 0. If it matches, it should. Good. This happens. We're going to match again. Okay. This time it will not match. Good. Current text pointer should stay at index 1, which is good because index 1 refers to this guy. Return submatch expression for sub expression. So we're going into here now. We've kind of done this. We've moved the pointer to the G, and now we're going to go into here. This should say sub empty as well. All right. Okay, here we go. Yes. If the text is found, return true. That won't happen. Now we're in an expression. So we're going to go down, down, down. We're here because this, what we're doing is the sub that we're looking at now wraps both the G and the E together in one subnode. So we have to go into here and match this expression. Okay. Bing. It is simply a left child. Yes, there is no... Oh, wait. That was fun. I am curious about one thing. Should it have gone to this else? If subparent is empty is true. What happened there? I would have thought it's the same subparent being passed through every time. Ah, no, that's not the case. Because the subparent is now this guy who has no star. Yes, so yeah, it's empty because we're in this expression and this is the subparent. So interesting. Okay. Where are we? Here we are. So the current text pointer is equal to the place where we're pointing, which is 1, the G. We're going to match the sub expression on the left side. It's a simple character. It will match. This is empty. Okay. Oh, it's this, isn't it? Wait, is it this? I think. Wait, oh, my brain hurts. I'm like, I did this. I matched the G. Then I got into empty, which is where I am now. And then it's supposed to. It's supposed to realize that. It's supposed to realize that the G. Do I have to remember that like the outermost parent is a star? Like, is that what I have to do? Because I think what's happening is this guy is being linked to is submatching to the subparent, who's this guy over here, which is sort of what is meant to happen, I think. Yeah, no, that seems about right. And then, but this guy's subparent is actually over here, so he should be linked to this guy at some point. So I think the null might be, I talked about this before, the null might be wrong. I did say brackets and brackets would probably cause issues, didn't I? Okay. But still, I mean, this case was okay, so it must have gotten lucky, I guess. Anyway, we matched the sub expression real quick, which I think is also empty, yeah. And then here we haven't matched the entire string yet, have we? The result is false. Where the heck are we? I think this is referring to, is it this guy? Or maybe this guy? I think we're now looking over here. Okay, so it failed because it thought I was like at the end of the whole thing. Because this guy's parent I said was null, so it thought this was the end of the line. So instead, it had to go back to here. Oh, I'm confused. But then even if we went back to here, like, wouldn't something similar happen where it says, oh, this guy's parent is null, so then just do the exact same thing? Oh, man. So the G successfully matched, as we expected. And then what? The G successfully matched. The G managed to match, and then it went into the next part to match, which was a sub-empty. The C and the G had matched. We hadn't completely matched everything yet, but the C and the G had matched. The sub-empty said, okay, like, I feel like in this case, because the sub-empty because we managed to move on, once we get to the sub-empty, would it have been better to go back all the way to here and call the expression again? I guess that's kind of what I want, right? So maybe instead of just bringing the most recent subparent, which was this guy, I have to keep track of whether or not there is any kind of outstanding subparent with a star that's sort of being mentioned. Because I guess in the context of if I just think about this subparent, it thinks that there's no sort of repetition happening because there's no star associated with it. It thinks that, yeah, I'm just a sub, and you know, if you guys don't match with the end of the string, with the rest of the string, then like there's nothing we can do about it, you know? So the C star matches, then there's another expression, and then you have sub, and then G. This G matches once, and then we try to keep going with the match. The sub empty happens, we go to another sub empty. If we link back to all the sub empties that are the right children of subparents, like the subparents are U and I guess U, and then I think that's it. Yeah, because there's two brackets, right? Two sets of brackets. 1, 2, so there'll be two parents. I think we have to always be keeping track of the subparent that like has a star or something and pass that guy in. I'm not really sure. It's tricky because, yeah, in general, I was thinking, yeah, if this sub is the parent of this expression, then, you know, we match the G, then we try to match the rest of it. It's just empty. But because if we look at the difference in code for the sub expression, for empty things, if there is a star, then we just return true, which is kind of what we wanted to happen in this context. So I guess it's kind of like a decorator type thing where like even if this particular sub parent doesn't have a star, because it sort of has a parent, or there is an outer subparent that does have a star, that's the guy we care about, I guess. Would it be okay if we sort of immediately linked oh, this is so gross. Like it needs to be running this code. It needs to be running return true. Now I'm kind of curious as to why this gets it correct. Oh, because I managed to get to the end of the string. It claws its way to the end of the string, so it returns true as well. This branch returns true because it just about manages to reach the end of the string. The second you have an E and it needs to do a bit more work, it thinks, oh, it failed. I need to remember that there's a star that can keep things going if I'm just willing to. So yeah, I think subparent maybe needs to be if there's a subparent without a star. If a subparent doesn't have a star, that must mean that there's no subparents with any stars. The only reason you pass a subparent that doesn't have a star is if you haven't come across any subparents that have a star. Is my thinking. I don't know, this is getting kind of crazy. Alright, we'll stop there. I think that's pretty good. Okay, I kept working on it, but I basically implemented the idea I think I said it out loud, where if I have a subparent, right, but that subparent doesn't have a star, right, because that's what happened, and I'm pretty sure that's what caused the problem. We tried to just keep going. Prioritize a grand subparent, like that guy, who does have a star. So that's what this does. I added it to this part of the code in the match sub expression. If it's an expression type, the subparent that you need to be passed. Oh my goodness. The subparent that you need to be passing in, it will probably be the sub, but if the old parent, the original subparent, if that has a star, and your current sub doesn't have a star, then make the new subparent that you're going to be passing in, make it the old subparent. So in this case, this guy is the subparent the whole way through because he has the star. So he's top dog. All these other guys, well, there's only one other, but he doesn't matter. He's not, he can shove off. This is the subparent. And the reason we prioritize stars over non-stars is because, in the case where we get some sort of match going, we want to be able to, when we get to this empty sub, rather than sort of continuing, we want to be able to request back to this guy, can we have another attempted match with the expression? And I don't know what other bugs I have, but I've tried this particular case. Firstly, I tried a dot out, and then first I tried C star followed by G E whole thing star, and then I put CGE. I think this was what we were trying. Got the match. Right, so that's fixed. And then I try something a bit more complicated like this. Also got the match. Now the thing I have to try is, the thing I'm yet to try is a failure. So AB, let's say same at regex. And let's say almost correct, except let's say there's an A here and a B here. Okay, so you got CC, but you have to, what this regex is saying is after your CCs or whatever, after your Cs, there has to be either a G or an E. Right? So the CC is followed directly by an A that I believe should fail. Yes! Okay. So I don't know what other bugs are in here. And, I'm sure there are plenty. Especially as you get bigger and bigger with the regexes, I'm sure you could find stuff. I'm sure at some point the massive amount of recursion that's in here will be frowned upon. But I'm pretty happy with what I've got. If I'm able to handle stuff with 2 bits of and with one nested bracket, I'll take it. I don't know. I'm sure if you put certain array, I'm sure there's other arrangements. I'm just gonna basically make a lot of test cases, and work like that. But I think I'm pretty much done. Again, there are optimization algorithms you can do, especially if you want to search across an entire file, and if you want to find partial matches, if you have a regex AB and a text that's ABC, technically you could make it so that it partially matches, but I feel like I got the gist of how regex can be done. And maybe I'll do some reading and research in my own time to see how to further this. But as a generic idea, my main goal with this was to practice this parsing idea and trying to process, I guess, text data. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, on that note, I think I'm done. I think I'm happy with how this looks. All I'll do is I'll clean up the code a bit and I'll separate the headers, separate things into headers and stuff. Make the public stuff in header files, and private stuff I'll keep it in source code files. But yeah. All right, nice. Good way to end it.